Well, we made up our mind. Today is the day that we are picking up our cat. If you saw the last video, I'll link it down below. We were trying to make a choice. And in this video, you'll see who's going home with us. This is a great big place with a lot of animals. And if you watched our last video, you know it came down to three finalists: Shelby, Pippi, and Phlox. Which one will be coming home with us? Now, making a choice on which cat to adopt is not as simple as it may seem. You want to make sure that when you bring a cat into your household, that cat is going to get along with everybody. You got to take into consideration if you have other pets. When you bring that cat home, you want to make sure it's going to work out. After our previous visit, we looked at all the animals, spent some time with the cats, and then we stopped at the Boathouse restaurant and we talked about which cat is going to be right for us. We still hadn't made up our minds, so we came home, we hashed it over a little more, we slept on it, and we made a decision. It was really tough. Those were three really nice cats. Shelby was a beautiful cat, but I might remind you, my wife did not want to bring a female cat into the house. And if you want to know why, you can watch the previous video. I explained all of it. But Shelby was really a beautiful cat. She was very relaxed, very laid back, was pretty much just laying around, letting us come up and pet her. And she was so nice and friendly and really a pretty cat. And she was special because she was a polydactyl cat, meaning she had 6 toes on each of her paws, just like the Hemingway cats down in Key West. So she was really special, but I had to be honest with myself. Did I want to choose her just because she was unique in that way? Or did I really think that she would fit us in our lifestyle? The second finalist was Pippi. Pippi is just a beautiful cat. I mean, look at her. She followed us around a little bit. She was very relaxed and friendly, and she allowed me to pick her up and pet her. And the final one, of course, was Phlox. And we really liked Phlox. Just look at that face. He had a really different look to him. It reminded me of kind of a jungle cat, and instead of stripes, he was kind of spotted. So you can see what drew us to these 3 pets. And I'll tell you, it was a heck of a time. We decided rather than go with a selection process, let's see if we can go with an elimination process. And the first one that we eliminated was Pippi. Pippi was really a nice cat and a sweet little cat, but there was nothing that really stood out, nothing that made me feel this is the right one for us. Phlox was wonderful. Besides being such a good-looking cat, when I picked him up, I couldn't believe how heavy he felt. He was so long and lean that he must be just 100% muscle. But he was so curious, and he followed us around, and he looked up, made eye contact, rubbed against us. There was something that just said, I think he might be the right one. But I kind of felt the same way about Shelby. Now, Shelby wasn't as aggressive as Phlox, but in her own way, she was very loving and so unique. There was something that appealed to me and something that drew me to Shelby. So we were trying to make up our mind between Phlox and Shelby. And we went home and we talked about it and we discussed it. And then I thought,
¿Por qué no los dos?
Why did we have to narrow it down to one? For the past nearly a decade, we had 2 cats. Why not bring 2 cats into the household? So we called the Animal Refuge Center and we told them we would like both of these cats. Do you think it's a good choice? Do they get along? How would that work out? And so they talked to all the people that were familiar with the cats, and they said to us, yeah, we think that these 2 cats are going to get along well in your household. So we went back to the Animal Refuge Center, and here they are in their pet taxis, just so adorable. The process of adopting them was simple, but it took a little bit of time. We had some paperwork we had to do. We had to look at their health history, make sure that they're up to date with their shots, and Phlox was not. So we have to get him to our vet and make sure that he's brought up to date. We're going to take both of them to the vet anyway. We want to make sure they are both healthy cats and there's not something that we need to be made aware of. By the way, they are no longer Flox and Shelby. We wanted to rename them. We wanted to give them names that we liked, and they were going to be living with us for the rest of their lives after all. And we spent a lot of time coming up with names, and the first one we landed on was for Shelby. And Shelby's name is now Callie. Callie the Calico. So she's a calico cat, so I thought it would be really cute to name her Callie. And, sometimes people would go with that 6 toes, Polly the polydactyl. I thought that's just a little too on the nose. I wanted something that was a little more fun, a little more clever. So Callie the Calico. Callie the Calico cat, 3 C's. And Flox is now Max. Maximilian. I thought Maximilian was dignified. He is a very dignified cat. And boy, having Max and Callie with us, we are learning their personalities. Callie is very reserved. She's really, up to this point, taking a back seat to Max. She loves to spend time out in the lanai, which doesn't surprise me because they came from those cat houses that were open air and they're able to look outside. So she really enjoys that. And when I can't find her, I look in the lanai and she's on the chair or looking out of the screen or underneath the chair, just relaxing and sleeping. Max is so curious. He is everywhere. He's running around. He's playing with toys. Unfortunately, sometimes he ambushes Callie, and I kind of feel sorry for her. So she's found a little hiding place, and it's behind my bar, behind the tiki bar. It's a nice little quiet place, and when she's there, I just leave her alone. As far as Max, he just wants to be with us all the time. I feel like I'm getting a little better bonded with Max because he's the one that's always with us. He sleeps with us at night. Now we wake up sometimes and Callie is on the bed as well. But Max is the one that is just always around. Callie, we found out, is a door dasher. So we have to be really careful. Twice now, I opened up the door to our attached garage and she scurried out. Fortunately, the garage door was closed and I was able to corral her and get her back in the house. But that's one of those habits that now that we know about, we can look out for and make sure that we don't let her get out of the house. So those are the new members of our household, Callie and Max, and we're going to share their adventures with all of you as they become acclimated and adapted to their new surroundings and the fun things they do. What do you think of Max and Callie? Are those good names? Or would you have picked something else? Which cat would you have picked? Would you have made the same decision we did? Or maybe you would have gone with Pippi? Let me know down below. If you missed the first video, it's right up here. And if you want to see the video where we stop for lunch, that is right here. I'll see you here next time, and have a great week, everyone.